Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Rampage. December 1st, 2023. Excalibur and Tony on commentary. We're going with the two-man group for this show. And, yeah, we started off with Best Friends. Orange Cassidy and Trent teaming up with Hook and Danhausen. The big return versus Dark Order, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Ange. This was a fun match. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a great way to start the show. Rampage is just one of the things, like, it could be a hit or it could be a miss, but we're going to get some great wrestling. You know, and I think the biggest thing that I feel AEW lacks is the storytelling of a show. Like, you know, I'm not telling them to be WWE, but there needs to be some thread. And sometimes it just gets lost, you know, like that's the thing I really think AEW needs is some form of storytelling. Like, they just pack, like with Rampage, they just pack some random matches here. They're like, hey, you know, of course we got some story between Danhausen and taking the hat, the purple hat. I thought that was kind of stupid. But still, you know, there's some form, everyone has some form of connection, and you pull out wrestlers that haven't been around for a while. I don't know. Yuta comes out. You know, gets on commentary. He's got beef with Hook. You know, eventually we're going to see those two, and I think we're going to see those two at battle at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, the final battle. I think that's going to happen there. Renee's backstage with Saraya, Ruby, and Anna Jay, and Saraya puts Ruby in timeout. She puts her in timeout, says, no, you stay there, don't talk. But Anna, she's so pretty. She's so beautiful. Here comes Cool Hand Ange, you know, and he's like, Anna, we're going to be with you. We'll be there even though we just lost our match. And Anna goes, no, I'm good. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with Anna Jay joining Ruby and Saraya, the outcast, you know. I'd rather have that for her than stick with Daddy Magic, Cool Hand, and AJ, you know. Like, let her do her own thing. That's just my opinion. We got Tony Schiavone in the ring. He introduces Sting and Ric Flair. Woo! Still surreal to see Rick and Sting, man. It is, you know. And he threw some names out there. He's like, hey, man, I'm gonna mention some names and y'all gonna know I got love for Dusty Rhodes. You know, oh, hell yeah. Dusty Rhodes, and he goes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and you know, he goes in the Stinger, and Sting mentions some names, you know, Bam Bam Bigelow and all this, and it just got me going. I was like, man, the memories, man. And the first thing I thought of as soon as he said Dusty Rhodes, because Dusty's always been my dude, always will be, and was in the first War Games match. I think he punches Arn Anderson in the dick. It was a great War Games match, but that was the first thing because I just watched it and fucking I was hoping that Cody did that in that match at War Games, but I'm not talking about WWE. I'll go back for a second. But great relationship, you know. Sting is going all the way to Revolution in March, you know. And, you know, it's funny as I was like, man, we're building like 5 months to a match that we don't even know who he's going to face. I still think it's going to be Darby Allin. I that's what I feel 100%. And then we come to find out it's going to be Ric Flair. But Ric Flair, you know, saying some great things. Sting, you know, they're hyping up this tour. You know, they're talking about these arenas. And I think that's the cool thing about this is that everywhere they go and every time they have Sting there, they're like, hey man, you remember this? You remember that? Oh yeah, look at it. And all the history in these buildings. And I like that with this. It's just it's a cool, fun ride for Sting, and he's got Ric Flair on his side. Renee's backstage with Chris Statlander, Sky Blue, and Hikaru Shida, and you know the little tension, especially between Chris and Sky, and she's like, hey, you know he's like, hey, we need to team together. We got to come. We got our big match tonight. Renee though, fucking little jab there. She goes, and yes, Chris Statlander and Shida both lost your titles recently. Sorry, you know, they're like, you gotta mention that, huh? Don Callis family versus Squash Gang. Squoosh Gang. Man, Don Callis is so good at me hating him. That music, the music they have for the Don Callis family, that, and then the Jesus photo with Don Callis in the middle is Jesus and everything. Don cuts a promo, just calls out the Golden Jets, and he's like, "Hey man, the Don Callis family's strong," and I gotta say, yeah, they're strong, man. They got a good lineup. Takeshita, Kyle, and Hobbs. That's a force to be reckoned with, and they keep coming back to that fucking when Hobbs did the Paul White. But Prince Nana's backstage, he's with Brian Cage, and they're trying to get the Workhorsemen to join him. And Prince Nana's like, "Hey man, if you help us in this main event, we can maybe think of you guys joining the Mogul Embassy." Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Soraya, Ruby, Anna Jay versus Shida, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander. Sorry. Of course, Shida and Sky and Chris for the win. This was a fun match. This was my second favorite match of the night. I really don't consider the Don Callis family versus the Squash Gang a match. Like, it was just for dominance and everything like that. But this match was really, really fun. And I really like the talents here. And I'm interested to see where we go moving forward. When's Britt Baker coming back? There's a lot in this women's division that needs a lot of fixing, and I'm glad, though, that Toni Storm is leading the charge as our champion. Timeless Toni Storm. Sorry. All right, Brian Cage and the Workhorsemen versus Vikingo, Penta, and Commander. What you think? This match was awesome. And I liked a little bit of the whole Workhorseman accidentally punching Brian Cage. Then Nana's like him, like, "Hey man, doses, man, out of here." And that's what causes them to lose the match. And Brian Cage doesn't care, But Vikingo and Commander hitting their moves, Penta, and they got I can't wait until they face Top Flight and Action Andretti. I cannot wait for that. That's gonna be fucking awesome. So overall, fun show. Honestly, there was really nothing that I was just like, oh my gosh, but I want some more storytelling, with a thread of storytelling. There is some storytelling, but I want a thread of storytelling for a show, going from top to bottom, finish, whatever. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you're like, "Hey, fuck you, big head boy." Let's talk here. We're professional wrestling fans. Drop those comments below. Then after that, hit that like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. And remember, I'm KMB the Sexy Ninja, damn it. And the New World Podcast is for life.
1972 till today. And believe it or not, I'm still alive.